Hi, this is Scott Siskin. I'm the president of First Republic Mortgage Bankers. When you need a mortgage, call First Republic Mortgage Bankers and deal direct. Eliminate the middleman. No mortgage broker fees. Stop wasting your hard-earned money on your high-rate mortgage and your credit cards. You can save every single month by refinancing. You personally can save every month by locking in the lowest rates in over 30 years. And we make house calls to the entire tri-state area 7 days a week. Call 718-380-0006 if you're buying a home or you want to refinance your home. 718-380-0006.
You know, Wall Street, I think when I left the house this morning, it was down over 100 points. It trades on greed and fear. So I can't tell you why, particularly the Wall Street was, up or down. I can give you some ideas as to why the bond market reacts to what it does, which is mostly inflation and so forth. But there were low retail sales that came out today, which I think brought it down. It's the bottom line here is it's volatile. I mean, commodities are at this ridiculous all-time high. If you want to, gold has gone over $1,000. Oil is way up. It just doesn't make sense. The one thing that's good is at First Republic, we can and do lock in your interest rate. So let's talk about mortgages and the economic stimulus package, and maybe that has something to do with what Wall Street's doing or not doing. But the economic stimulus package has fueled, like throwing gasoline on a fire, our refinancing boom here at First Republic. There's so many people who can be helped. There's a lot of people who maybe refinanced their house and were limited to 417 or even less if it was an FHA loan, and now they have the opportunity to be able to access more of their equity because their house might have been worth $600,000, $700,000, and now they can go up to 95% of the value. So a lot of people are calling us who got loans from First Republic in the past. And of course, we have people who have bought houses recently and need help. A lot of them are in the jumbo category. Before they got like maybe a subprime or an Alt-A mortgage, and now it's not considered jumbo anymore. And we can go up to $729,000, $750,000 on a one-family home, and we can go all the way up to $1.4 million on a four-family. I'll just fill you in. $934 and change for a 2, and 3 family is 1.1. So the number to call to get the facts is 718-380-0006. This is the most important part, in my opinion, and others, of the economic stimulus package. You're going to get a check for maybe about $600, depending on the situation, in a couple of months, and that's great. You do whatever you want with it. However, the ability to now buy houses that are more real and get loans limits that are based upon more realistic amounts is phenomenal because you can get financing up to 97%. You can, the down payment can come from gifts and susu. The seller can pay the closing costs, and there's just phenomenal opportunities now to purchase houses and to refinance. There's so many people who are out there struggling with credit card debt. Almost all the people who have been applying recently are people who have a lot of credit card debt, $20,000, $30,000 and more. You don't have to have that much for it to make sense. A lot of people who got home equity lines of credit a couple of years ago when it was cheap, and now it's expensive, and they're paying the price. So we are able to pay off credit card debt, and give them an incredibly low interest rate. Right now, record lows. It is the perfect storm, if you want. I'm using that analogy in that you have the lowest rates basically ever. You have the highest limits ever. So there's 2 opportunities for a homeowner to get the facts about maybe this can help them in refinancing, maybe it can't. But the only way you're really going to know is by speaking to our loan officers at 718-380-0006, 718-380-0006. They're standing by right now. We have great loan officers who are here, and they can give you the facts really within minutes of time as to what you can qualify for, what the costs will be. And remember, refinancing, there's no cash out of pocket required. Sometimes people think they have to bring a big check to closing like they did when they bought their house. That's not the case. So pick up the phone and find out how you can benefit. Homeowners, we are having a huge refinancing boom. People just like you, listeners of this station, who have been scared by all this negativity in the press about foreclosure and so forth for so long, and now they're hearing these positive things about mortgages. And this is your opportunity to truly take advantage of the economic stimulus package by getting low rates, by getting higher loan amounts. Call right now, 718-380-0006. It's very important to get the facts. For tenants, great opportunity to fire your landlord or buy the house from your landlord. We see a lot of people doing that. And I still want to stress that you not necessarily should run out and buy a house for a one-family for $700,000. There's a lot of affordable housing, and I want to stress that I think affordable housing is the way to go because it is a buyer's market. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. Get pre-approved, find out what your options are, and then, go from there. But I really want to stress that there are, affordable housing in your backyard. You can go to our website and be able to see houses. You can hear Jay talk about them on the Dreammaker side. It's very important that people acknowledge and be aware that there is these properties right around the corner from, let's say Newburgh, New York, for example, 40 minutes from the Bronx, and you can buy a house in the 300s, maybe with, a quarter of an acre of land. Get the facts. Call 718-380-0006. Get pre-qualified, and then we can hand you over to Jay, and he can tell you about the affordable housing that he's really keeping an eye on and what's available right now. But homeowners, you own your home already. You already have credit card debt, maybe. Maybe you have a high rate on your mortgage. Maybe you really would like to get some more cash out than you were able to before. Now is your opportunity. Remember, the increase in these limits is temporary. By statute, by law, it is temporary. So you want to call and take advantage of this before things change. We never know what's going to happen in Washington. We have, we don't know what's going to happen with the presidential elections, how that's going to affect, these type of programs. The important thing is right now you can get the low rates as low as 5%. 5.5% for a 30-year, 5% for a 15-year, and be able to get the payments really low and get large amounts of cash out. It's all up to you to decide. Again, remember, these are income-verified loans, so you have to speak to the loan officers to find out exactly what you can do, and that's the way you get the facts. 718-380-0006 for the facts. 718-380-0006, because one call will do it all. You make the call, and you'll get all the facts. First Republic Mortgage Bankers is a licensed mortgage banker, direct lender in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Florida, Delaware, Maryland, Georgia, South Carolina, headquartered at 110 Jericho Turnpike, Floral Park, New York,